Hello, welcome back to episode 2 of the tutorial on how to code Minecraft plugins. Now, in the last video, we pretty much just focused on setting up the project, setting up IntelliJ. We actually made a listener and we also made a command. Now we're going to be getting into more in-depth and complex stuff. So, at any time, if you do find yourself struggling to follow along, pause the video, rewind it, ask questions. I'm here for that. Just ask questions, and as soon as I'm free, I will answer them. And the support on the first video was insane. Thank you so much for all the support. Everyone really enjoyed the video, hence why I'm starting number 2 so soon. You know what, we're gonna just go straight into it, no long talk. You might notice that everything looks like it's been reset. Yes, I had to restart my whole project because Java 17 was a bit broken. I'd recommend using Java 8 since Java 17 only works on 1.18 anyway, so you're just better off using 1.8 because it works like Java 8 over any other one, or you could use any other version, but you might run into some issues. I'm just doing it for simplicity. I'm using Java 8 and yeah. So anyway, first of all, I'm going to be talking about shading. Now, shading is when you can include other plugins into your plugin. Now, you don't want to do this very often, and only do it if you're importing libraries, if you're trying to use code from a library rather than a plugin, because you don't want to shade a whole plugin into your plugin, because then the size will be massive and also you'll get conflicts and stuff. So anyway, we're going to be shading in the NBT API, and you might be wondering, why are we shading in this NBT API? And if you are aware of Minecraft, you probably think, why aren't we just using persistent data, which is pretty much the same as NBT? It's because I'm trying to focus on coding for all versions rather than just the 1.18. Because if I taught you how to do it in 1.18 and you were on 1.12 or 1.8, you'd probably be a bit confused and wondering what's the alternative for me. And rather than making 2 different videos, I'd rather just merge it all into one. NBT API is pretty lightweight. It's very small to shade into your plugin, so it's not going to cause anything like that. So just overall, it's a good option to do. And we're just gonna get straight into how you actually shade it in. So first of all, you want to add this line right at the top. This is importing the shadow, which is basically how you shade it into Gradle. So pretty much just add this in. I'll pretty much leave a link in the description with a paste bin to this whole file. Then just change this stuff around, and then you should be good to go. We're going to be importing NBT API right here. We're using implementation because we want to actually shade it in. If we use compile only, during the shade process, it will ignore it, which is why the Spig API is compile only and so is Lombok. We just want to shade in NBT API. This is all included with, if you watch the first video, this is all included with the Gradle as when you start off. I think this is also included from what I remember, but if it's not, then add this in. Then we want to add a shadow jar function. This bit is not that needed, but we want to add shadow jar, and then in here we want to add dependencies, and we want to include the dependency of NBT API, which is that. Oh, we're actually one version behind, so let's include that. And then we want to relocate because it's an API. We don't want it to just be, just sitting around in the plugin. It can cause some issues. We'd rather not do that. We want to actually put it into our plugin itself. So we're moving it from here into our plugin. So net.splodgebox.example plugin.nbt. So it's going to create a different package for NBT. If you have a utils folder, put it in the utils. It's really up to you. So that's just a quick run through, and then once you've done that, just click on here and then just click reload Gradle project, and you'll see that it's generated a shadow bit. This is what we're going to be using to build our plugin, because it's going to build it with the dependency. You can do it with this, but it will generate 2 jars then. Much rather be just faster and just do shadow jar. Also, another tip that I forgot to mention is when you want to, because sometimes the cache will ruin a bit. with how many jars that you build. You want to press clean once in a while, clean up your directory. As you can see, I don't have the build folder anymore because it's been cleaned up. Everything's clean. There we go. So now you're probably wondering what are we doing in this video, or you probably saw the title. This video is going to be focusing on stuff like creating an item, where when you right click the item, it does something. And the way that we're doing this is we're doing it with NBT, which hence why it's a bit more different than how other people do it. They tend to just check by names and stuff, which is horrible. You should never do that. So we're going to be going through checking with the API. We're going to be organizing it how you should be organizing it. We're going to make a controller. We're going to make the actual object. We're going to make sure it's nice and clean. We'll also have a command to actually give the item to you. This command will actually have arguments as well. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be jam-packed into this episode, and I want to make it short and simple, so I won't be explaining every single thing like I did last video. We're just going to be going straight into it. And you know what, let's just get started on this. I have some great news. I've recently been partnered up with GamerSupps. What is GamerSupps? If you don't already know, GamerSupps is a healthy energy drink which is 0 calories, 0 carbs, and isn't dumped with fillers. GamerSupps uses natural caffeine to give you a clean boost in energy without crashes that you'll get from other energy drinks. I've been drinking GamerSupps for the past couple months and can't recommend it enough. It's my go-to drink. Recently they've released a caffeine-free version, so now you can drink GamerSupps any time of the day and still get the benefits of the vitamins and nootropics to help you focus. GamerSupps is also well known for their waifu shaker cup. These are shaker cups with images of anime-style women who have large personalities, that when you fill the cup with drink, the color of their images is colored in. Make sure you check them out and use the link in the description. If you use the code Splodgebox, you get 10% off on your purchase at checkout. Thanks again to GamerSupps for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into the video. Okay, so first of all, we're going to be making our packages again, and I did mention this in the last episode, so if you are unfamiliar with how packages are supposed to be formatted, make sure that you check out the last video. So we're going to be making a data package. We're going to be making a listeners package, and we're going to be making a controllers package. Oh, and we're also going to be making a commands package. I'm not sure if we're going to be using the controllers, but well, we'll see. So first of all, we're going to be creating our item, and the way that we make our item is we're going to be making a single item class. However, we're gonna have 3 different types of items. Now this is just gonna allow me to show you like how this stuff is done. I don't want to waste too much time, so let's just get straight into it. So we're gonna be making let's say alright, we're just gonna call it custom item, but you should give it a bit more thought. I'm just calling it custom item because I'm trying to be brief and fast. We're gonna have 3 different types. So let's make some types, which is item type. Now remember this, enums, enums, whatever you want to call them, they aren't they're like singular, they're not plural, so you want to call it a singular name. So we're gonna be having one that's called remove, one that's gonna be lightning, and one that's gonna be maybe sound. Yep. So now that we got the 3 types, we can make our item. Now I'm going to be using Lombok as I mentioned in the previous video. However, I'll show you 2 different examples. So with Lombok, what we can do is we can do required args constructor. Then we do private final, and we want to get the item type. So we're going to ask it to include an item type before making this item. And we also want to add a getter onto this. So this is how you make this, and just real quick, I'm going to also run through how you would do it if you didn't have Lombok installed. So just real quick, we're going to do public custom item, and we're going to give it item type, this dot item type equals item type, and then we want to do get item type. So obviously, as you can see, this is very long. This is a longer process. We're better off just doing it with Lombok. It's much more cleaner, much more simpler, and yeah, just overall it saves so much time, so there's no point of wasting your time doing something like that. But anyway, what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be creating the item. So we're going to make a quick item stack. Oh, sorry. And we're going to call it create. So we're just going to make it in this class called create, but you shouldn't name it like that. It's just because it's in the custom items class that is much more easier, much more simpler. Now, this is the way that I'm coding this. However, there's multiple ways to code this. You know, people might say I'm wrong, and you know, that's fine. You code it the way that you feel is right. Don't listen to whatever anyone else is saying, unless it's causing like actual like bugs and stuff. Then you probably want to maybe listen to people, but or like it's much slower. But this is the exact same way. It's just about formatting. Alright, so now that we got our item, we're gonna actually be adding the NBT onto the item. So the way that we do this is we want to create an NBT item. We want to call it new NBT item, and then we want to pass our item stack. So now that we got our item stack in there, our diamond is now in there. You know what? We now want to add our NBT tag. So the way that we're gonna do this is we're gonna do NBT item dot set, and then we're gonna set it as a string. We're gonna call it custom item type, and we'll add our item type to string, and then we're gonna return NBT item dot get item. Now this is gonna give us an diamond with the NBT tag of custom item type, which will give us item type. You know, we're gonna make a little we're gonna add a name onto it as well, just real quick. If you aren't aware about this stuff, this is really simple stuff, and I'll leave more tutorials to other people in the description, so you can take a look if you are still a bit confused. We're gonna just set the display name as item, and then we'll just give it item type to string, and we're just gonna set the. Now people tend to use builders for item stacks. It just makes it much easier, and I agree. But obviously I'm not going to make a item builder in this episode, because again, I'm trying to be fast. But you can, in your spare time, look around for item builders. There are tons out there. It's just so easy to use. But there you go. We've got our custom item class now. We've given it a custom NBT tag. So there we go. We now have our custom item. So what we want to do now is we want to make our listener now. So we'll call it item listeners. We want to implement listener. Now what we can do is we want to make an event, and I mentioned this in the last video, so if you are unaware of how to do events and stuff, go check the last video. But we're going to go straight into it. So we're going to call it on interact, and we're going to add in player interact event. We're going to call for our player because we're going to be doing some stuff to the player. We're also going to call for the item stack. So this is the item in their hand. We're also going to be making a null check. So I covered this as well in the last video. So if you're unaware of what null checks are and how to do them the way that I'm doing it, go check the last video. I do in-depth explanations about everything. So we want to check if the item stack is equal to null, or the item stack dot get type is equal to material dot air, and we want to return. Now you're probably wondering why we check for air and null. I also mentioned that it's just how Minecraft is. You just want to do it. But anyway, now that we got that all out of the way, we want to now check if they're right clicking the item. Actually, no, first of all, let's check if it's the actual item that we're talking about. So we're gonna be actually, no, let's do the check for the action first. Event.getAction is not equal to action dot right click air, or event.getAction is not equal to right click block. Again, covered this in the last video. I'm going to keep saying that, but I did cover a lot of things in the last video, hence why it's so long. But there we go. We've got now a check to see if it's right clicking the air, right clicking the block. The reason why we're putting negative is because we're returning it if it's not. But if it is, it will continue. So that means we're right clicking the block with an item in our hand. So next we want to actually call the NBT API, the NBT item, which we'll be doing the same way as I was doing before. If NBT item.has key, and our key, which is custom item type. Actually, you know what, we'll make this negative as well. Again, trying to keep everything clean, tidy. So now that we know it does have it, we now know that we have 3 different types that we can have, possible types. So we want to call getString. We want to call that. Now there's multiple ways that you can do this. You could do if statements, you could do switcher case. I'm going to do switcher case because it's more cleaner. You can do if statements, so like if type is equal to this, if type is equal to that. But yeah, we're just going to go try this out. So what we can do is we can do switch types if the case is on a damage, right? That was the types. No, remove. Then I'm just gonna type this out real quick. So if the case is remove, if it's lightning or if it's sound. Now, thing is, I've never claimed that I'm a good, like, the best developer. So yes, there's probably ideal to maybe just check with the item type. But again, I don't want to end up risking my neck out doing that and then having to redo the whole video. So I'm just doing it the way that I know will work. So again, I've never claimed that I was the best developer in the world. Obviously, I have places where I need to learn. I have flaws as well. Everyone has flaws. Anyone who says they don't is just lying. So everyone has flaws. Never claim that you're the best developer in the world, because you're not. So I mean, I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments, let me know I'm wrong, and we can talk about it. So anyway, for the remove, we want to just remove the item in the player's hand. So we want to just do set item in the hand, or you could do set item in main hand, but the thing about this is it's a bit odd, and we just want to set it as new item stack material.air. Let me just double check that there's not. Yep. Alright. Anyway, also something that I forgot to mention, you do want to probably add event.setCancel true. So like, let's say if it was a chest or something, it wouldn't just place the chest on the ground. This is a good thing to have here. Make sure that you add that in. Lightning, we're just gonna lightning strike the player, I guess. So we want to get player.get location.get world, strike lightning. I want to just do player.get location. So that's how you strike lightning on the player. And sound, we're also going to be playing a sound, so we want to get player.play sound, player.get location. We want to get the sound that we want, so let's go for a dragon. Actually, no, I like the level up. That's the nicest sound. We'll put like a high volume, and pitch is just like the frequency of it. So let's do like 10 pitch, and yeah, there we go. Just pretty simple stuff. It's just gonna do this thing. If you wanted to, I mean, I've added the remove effect, but if you wanted to, you can also remove the item from the player's hand. So you want to do something like similar to this, but let me just quickly run through that as well. So you want to do something like if item stack.get amount is more than 1. So then you're just checking, and then we got else, and then we just want to do this. So we can then do, also the thing about it is get item could be the offhand or the right hand. I'm not making these checks, but genuinely you should, and I will leave a link to, like, I don't know, a guide about that or something. But yeah, you should be checking, you know, if it's offhand, if it's a right hand. You shouldn't be using get set item in hand, because obviously you're just assuming that they're just putting it in their right hand, where they could put it in their left hand, and there you go, they've got a duplication glitch right there. But anyway, then what you can do is you can do set amount, and you want to set that to IamStack.get amount -1, and yeah, that should pretty much do it. But sometimes it's a bit buggy, so then you have to like do set item in hand to the item stack again. But again, I could be wrong. Again, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I can't remember if this is what you need to do, but I'm pretty sure that this is what you need to do. I'm just doing it off the top of my head. Usually I've got like old code from like ages ago that I just double check. But again, this will most likely work. If it's not, then just leave a comment and I'll help you out. But yeah, there we go. We've got a switch statement. Let's see what it's saying to do. Yeah, you could do it like this as well. I mean, it's really up to you. We'll do it this way just because it looks nice and clean. So now we've got our three items with the 3 different effects, and now we're going to be making the actual command to actually get them. And yeah, let's just get into that now. Just quick update, I just double checked. Yeah, I was right about you don't need to then set it into the player's hand again. You just want to do IamStack.setAmount. Anyway, we're going to be also making a controller. You don't need to do this. I'm just doing it just because I want to show you this for the later videos. Might as well get it covered. But we're going to be making a controller. So let's call it like item controller. And this is just our little class that we're going to be calling. Usually what I would do is I would actually do like, I tend to use controllers for like preloading data. So like I tend to do this, you know, this dot plugin. I mean, the reason why I tend to you know, use this way rather than like get args constructor like I was doing with the object is because it's just yeah, I might be wrong, but anyway, plugin equals plugin. This way, and then I would do like the like load config file. Like I'll make like a method where I'm preloading all the data. I could do it this way rather than if I did it with the annotation, it will only ask for plugin. It will not run this bit, which is what I want. I mean, we'll just keep this in for now. But you know, it's good to understand that you should have it this way sometimes as well. It's not always that you have to use the Lombok ways. I mean, yes, this is much cleaner for like data classes and stuff, and just little stuff like this, which is fine. You could do that, but realistically, you should make sure that you also use the normal Java ways as well. Don't just rely only on Lombok. But we're just going to keep this in even though we're not going to be using it, just because. So what we want to do is we want to create a an easier way to like get the item. So what we can make it do is maybe do like item type. No, what we can do is we can do like string item type. And then what we'll do is we'll just do return new custom item, and then we want to get the item type, so item type dot value of item type, and yeah, we want to also create it. It just makes it easier, or you could just do another one that just has like item stack get item, and then just the same thing, so item type and then item type. And then what we can do is we could just do return, we just want to return the get item, and then we'll do like item type dot toString. Pretty simple stuff. Again, you don't need to do this, especially for this little plugin, but I just want to show you it just because, you know, you're better off with this knowledge for later on in the videos. And now we'll actually be looking at a way to actually fetch this class. which is another big thing that I'm going to be showcasing in this tutorials and stuff. So we're going to be making an instance of our main class first. My bad, meant to be private static. So we've got our private static of example plugin. You don't want to use private static or public static so often, only for like this, because we're just getting an instance of the main class. Again, we don't need the on disable for this one. And then what we can do is we can also do another getter, private final item controller. I didn't mean to make that private final. Anyway, so anyway, now we've got this, and the reason why I'm doing it this way is because you don't want to keep having to call this, or you don't want to have to keep having to go like, oh, new custom item, and then the item type that you want to add in. So like, I don't know, lightning or remove, and then just do create. You don't want to keep on making a new instance of this class, because there's no point of that when you could just make one instance of one class, and you could do it that way. And the reason why we have to make an instance is if we go to like somewhere like, I don't know, here, and we try to do like example plugin dot, and then we can't do like get the class like the item controller, neither can we do like item controller, and then we can't do that without making a new instance of it. So the way that we use it is we do example plugin get instance, and then we get the item controller, and that way we can get item easily. Again, this is just a good thing to do. It's not needed for this plugin, but again, I just want to show this because it's good to know. Anyway, we're going to be now making our command to actually give the item. So we're going to be making it, I don't know, we're just going to name it item command, since we're just trying to go for simplicity. So we want to add this in. Alright, so now we are back here, and if you've watched the first video, you've already seen this because we went through this already. First of all, I'm not going to waste too much time. If you are unaware of commands, please check out the last video, but we're going to be now using arguments compared to last episode where we didn't. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Alright, so let's get to coding this then. So first of all, we've got everything basically here, so go check out the other video if you're unaware of what's going on. And then we want to actually check what the length of the arguments is. So obviously if they send like not enough arguments, so they're only sending, so our command is going to be slash item give, and then we want to give it to the player, and we want to get the type. Whereas if they send just slash item, you know, we're missing all of this other stuff. We want to tell them, you know, you're doing it wrong, so please send this instead. So let's do return true. I mentioned in the last video why you have to do return true, is because otherwise it just prints out the command for some reason. But anyway, we want to do sender.send message, and usually you add chat colors and stuff, but we're just going to be doing it simple. So we just want to let them know that the command is slash item. No, we'll let them know invalid usage slash item give. We want the player, and we want the type. So now it will tell them if their arguments is less than thing. Actually, realistically, we want to make sure that the arguments is you know, more than what is it? So we got 1, 2, 3. Let's say is less than 3. And if it's not, then we know that it has 3 arguments. We're not going to get any errors or anything like that. So if so args 0 equals ignore case, and we want it to be give. We can make this negative actually, just to keep it clean. Then we know that it's gonna be slash give on top of that. Next, we want to actually get the player. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do if bucket.get player, and we're gonna be getting the argument. So args1 is equal to null. Then we want to let them know that, you know, you did it wrong. Please input a valid player. If it's a valid player, and we know it's a valid player, then what we're going to do is we're going to get the player. And then we also want the type as well, which is going to be like remove or whatever. We want to set that to args2. So now we got all the stuff that we need, and we're pretty much good to go. Now there's multiple ways that you can do this. We can either fetch it through our instance, or what we can do is we can add an instance of the main class or the item command in this bit. But for simplicity of the video, we're just going to be fetching it from this. However, again, please make sure that you actually, like, you know, use your own ways. So like if you wanted to, what you could do is you could just add require args constructor and either add the plugin, or you could just directly add the item controller. And yeah, you know, it's really up to you. I think you should use those ways over this, but I just want to show you because we will be using this stuff later on in the tutorials and stuff. So, you know, we're just going to go straight for it. So we want to go example plugin, get instance, item controller, get item, and we got our type. So now we have our item stack ready. We could just do player.get inventory, add item, and there we go. And you know what, we'll also add a check message just to see if the player is actually online, because, you know, sometimes it will say that it's a valid player but they're not online. So if the player is not online, please input a online player. Alright, there we go. And there we go, we've now given them the item, and we want to also send them a message just to let them know that they've given the player an item. So you have given player.getName get the type item. So now we told it that it's given the item. Our whole plugin is now set up. Now we just need to do the actual final bits, which is registering the listener, registering the command. Should be good to go. So what we want to do is we want to do get server, get plugin manager, register events. I mentioned this in my last video, so if you are a bit unsure on this bit, please go check that out. Get command. Our command is item. Set executor as new item command. And again, like last video, we're going to be adding it into here. So we're going to do commands. My bad. Item usage. Oh, give item. There we go. So now we want to actually click our shadow jar, which will now build the whole plugin and shade in the API. Let me just show you. So we're going to get this. There we go, and then we'll also pull up our JD GUI, which is just a Java decompiler. Again, don't use this. I'm just using it just to show you that everything built fine. So we'll get the plugin. As you see, it's 106 kilobytes, but that's because we're shading in the API into this. And as you can see, everything's here. We've also got our NBT folder, which has all the NBT stuff in it. And yeah, we've now got everything, and it is all showing up. So I'm just gonna load this into in-game, and then I'll small update. I was just about to load this plugin in, and I noticed it wasn't working. There is a small problem that you're gonna need to edit in the listener. Remove the bit that talks about, you know, if the action is right click block. I'm not sure why that's not working. If you like have any idea, because yesterday I was just trying it out and I was so confused, and only just this morning I noticed what was the problem. So if you kind of like have an idea, then just let me know, because I had no clue why that wasn't working. because I mean it's just checking the thing, but it was just checking it as null for some reason. So make sure that you just remove that, and besides that, everything else should be working. We've got the command and everything. So I've loaded into Minecraft now. I'm using localhost this time, just because I was having a little bit of problems with the host. So we've got our Minecraft open right here. So we could do /test, /item, and it will give us the invalid usage saying, you know, you need to do this command. We do item give Splodgebox, and then we do like the following. So remove, what else was there? Sound and lightning. Oh shoot. Difficulty peaceful. Time set day. Alright. So now we've got our 3 items, as you can see. 3 items right there. And so if we do the remove item, it's going to remove the item from us. And then if we do the sound, that's going to play the sound. And if we do lightning, we should get struck by lightning. There we go. Alright, so that's how you pretty much use NBTs, make an item. And the whole reason, which I forgot to mention, why I was teaching you how to use NBT tags is because NBT tags are the best way to actually store an ID on an item, and then you can fetch it from the code and everything, and it stays on the actual item persistently. You can do a different way in like 1.13 and above. However, I'm just teaching for all the versions right now. But yeah, just in general, that's how you pretty much make an item, make it do a custom thing when you interact with it. So yeah, make sure that you make those changes to listener, and yeah, that's episode 2. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please make sure that you press that like button to show your support, and leave any comments if you have any troubles keeping up and everything, and I can try and explain it a bit more to you privately if you want. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and episode 2 should be out, no, episode 3 should be coming out as soon as I have time and have some availability to actually do it, because next door is doing like some renovations, and so it's pretty hard for me to record during the day, so I have to wait until the weekend primarily just to record. I just wanted to put this little snippet of video in, just because it doesn't seem like they're making noise right now. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you press the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.